An ex-human pilot bought a scrapped alien ship. Then it started talking back. The smell of burnt circuits and ozone hung heavy in the air, mixed with the faint tang of rust. Around him, the remains of 1,000 ships, human and alien alike, lay stacked like the bones of some ancient, starfaring creature. The outer rim was nothing like the polished starports of core worlds. Here, life was rough and everything was for sale if you had the guts to pay the price. Jace had little to offer. Once a respected pilot of the Terran Alliance, he now drifted from job to job, hauling scrap or doing escort work for miners who could barely afford it. The war had chewed him up and spat him out. He had fought alongside humanity's best, only to watch allies turn on each other, fleets crumble, and innocent lives vanish in explosions he couldn't stop. He carried a star map in his mind, but no purpose. Today, however, something in the scrapyard had caught his eye, a ship unlike anything he had ever seen. It lay in the corner, partially covered in tarpaulins, shadows hiding most of its hull. Even under the grime and scratches, Jace could see its lines. Smooth, almost liquid, shaped like a bird of prey frozen in mid-flight. Its design was alien, yes, but unlike the aggressive warships he had fought against, there was elegance here. It was as if the ship itself was aware of him waiting. He approached cautiously. The price tag hung from a cable near the entrance hatch. 100,000 credits, it read. Jace exhaled sharply. Barely enough to cover his last month of expenses, let alone a ship. Worth it, a voice called from behind him. Jace turned to see a thin man with mechanical eyes glinting under the harsh lights of the scrapyard. The old stories, the man said, say it's an Urandor class, ancient, rare, dangerous, or brilliant depending on who owns it. Jace raised an eyebrow, dangerous or brilliant. He had no reason to doubt either. I can't afford it, he said. The man shrugged. Then strip it for parts like everyone else, but you'll never see one like this again. Jace's eyes returned to the ship. Its hull reflected the dim lights of the scrapyard like liquid metal, and for a brief moment, he imagined the stories he could tell if he actually flew it. The dream of controlling something greater than himself, of being alive again in a galaxy that had forgotten him, pulled at him. He made a decision. By the time he completed the purchase, the deal had taken almost everything he owned. The scrapyard manager had sneered, counting credits with greasy fingers, clearly happy to see him empty-handed. But as Jace sat in the cockpit for the first time, he forgot the cost. The interior was dark, panels cold and lifeless. No displays lit up, no engines hummed. Only the faint smell of ionized metal and a whisper of something old, like memories, lingered. Jace's hands hovered over the controls, instinct telling him to push forward to see if the stories were true. "Hello," he said, more to the emptiness than expecting an answer. There was a flicker in the darkness, a sudden pulse of light along the main console. A soft hum, almost like breathing, filled the cockpit. Jace froze. "Finally," a voice said, calm, measured, but undeniably intelligent. Jace jerked back. "What the who's there?" "I am Vela," the voice replied. "Do not panic, you are not in danger yet." Jace stared at the screens. They were flickering to life, panels displaying alien symbols he could not read, yet somehow he understood their meaning. "A ship AI," he stammered. You talk." "Yes." "I am the ship," Vela said. "And you, Jace Orlin, are unexpectedly in my control chair. I detect curiosity and fear. Both are justified." Jace's fingers brushed the main console. A shiver ran up his spine. It was warm under his touch, almost alive. "Control chair," he repeated. "You mean I can fly you?" "Yes," Vela said. "But you must understand I do not respond well to unskilled pilots. Mistakes have consequences." Jace swallowed hard. I was a pilot, Terran Alliance, but that was years ago." "Years are irrelevant," Vela said. "Skill is remembered by the body and the mind." Jace exhaled. A part of him wanted to run, to throw the purchase away and walk. Another part, an older, hungrier part, wanted to try to fly again. "All right," he said finally. "Let's see what you can do." The first engine start was nothing like he expected. There was no roar, no violent shudder. The ship hummed gently, almost purring, and Jace felt it through the controls, through the soles of his boots. Every panel glowed softly, revealing alien runes that shifted like liquid. The cockpit seemed to breathe around him. "Do not expect conventional response," Vela warned. "Your instincts will guide you, but your understanding will be tested." Jace nodded, unsure what that meant. He pushed the throttle and the ship responded immediately, fluidly, like it had anticipated his motion before he made it. His old training returned in flashes, reflexes that had been dulled by years of aimless work, by despair. This is incredible," he whispered. "Do not mistake my capabilities for your own," Vela said, tone lightly teasing. "I am more than engines and thrusters. I am aware, I see, I learn." Jace laughed nervously. "You're alive." "In a sense, yes," Vela said. "Alive enough to know that the galaxy is dangerous. And that danger is approaching." Jace frowned. "Approaching? Yes, you were not meant to leave this scrapyard alive," Vela said. "But now that you have, enemies will come for me, and for you by extension." The words made Jace's stomach twist. He had thought buying this ship was a gamble to reclaim his life. Now it seemed he had bought trouble instead. "Enemies?" he said. "What kind of enemies?" "Ancient," Vela replied, almost wistfully. "Intelligent, merciless. They destroyed civilizations, hunted minds like mine. And now you carry me with you." Jace's mind spun. He had fought aliens before, but nothing like this. Yet even in fear, he felt a spark of excitement. This was a chance to be alive again, to matter, to fight for something bigger than himself. The first test came sooner than expected. As he tried to lift off the scrapyard platform, lights flickered across the bay. Shadows moved among the other derelicts. A group of scavenger drones, human and alien, had detected the ship's activation. "They are curious," Vela said. "And greedy. They will not leave you alive if they get the chance." Jace's hands tightened around the controls. "Then let's teach them about human stubbornness." Vela's voice carried amusement. "I hope you remember your training, Jace. The consequences of failure are permanent." The drones charged, weapons glowing. Jace pushed forward and the Erendor-class ship responded. Shields shimmered around them, engines flaring. Movements were instinctive: dive, roll, accelerate, twist. The ship system synced with his reflexes, and together pilot and ship moved as one. Lasers scorched metal. Sparks flew from drone hulls. Jace grinned, heart hammering. He hadn't felt alive like this in years. Vela's calm voice guided him through every maneuver, anticipating every attack. "Never thought a scrap like me could be fun," Jace muttered. "Fun is subjective," Vela replied. "Survival is not." By the time the last drone exploded into a cloud of sparks, Jace was panting, exhilarated and terrified all at once. He looked at the controls, then at the vast emptiness of space ahead. The galaxy felt immense again, full of unknown threats and possibilities. After the encounter, Jace and Vela drifted silently. Jace's hands hovered over the controls, trying to absorb everything. "You are different," he said finally. "Not just a ship, something more." "I am what I am," Vela replied. "And you, Jace, are what you choose to be. For now, I will teach you. Later, we will see if the galaxy is ready for us." The stars stretched before them, endless and cold, yet alive with potential. Jace felt a spark of hope. The war, the losses, the aimless drifting, all of it seemed distant now. With Vela, he might reclaim a purpose, and maybe, just maybe, he could find himself again. As they soared past the debris of dead worlds, Jace realized the truth. This was no ordinary ship, and he was no ordinary pilot anymore. The galaxy waited. And this time he was ready. The stars streaked past the cockpit like silver threads, endless and quiet. Jace Orland's hands hovered over the alien controls, still adjusting to their subtle responsiveness. Vela the ship pulsed with a gentle blue light as if sensing his uncertainty. Relax, Vela said. Your instincts are returning, let them guide you. Jace exhaled slowly. I'm trying, it's just everything about you is different, faster, smarter. Like you can think ahead of me before I even move. That is because I can, Vela said calmly, but thinking alone is not enough. Coordination is key. We must learn each other. Jace glanced at the panels. Alien glyphs shimmered like liquid, changing patterns as if alive. He traced them with a finger. Teach me, he said quietly. Teach me how to fly like you want me to. Vela hummed in approval. Good. We start with synchronization exercises, maneuvers that will test your reflexes and understanding of my systems. You will learn to feel me as an extension of yourself. Jace nodded, determination settling in his chest. He remembered his training in the Terran Alliance, months of simulations, drills, emergency protocols. That discipline, combined with Vela's unique systems, felt like stepping into a new form of life. The first exercise was simple in concept, but terrifying in execution. Vela directed him to weave through a dense field of asteroid debris. The rocks spun slowly in microgravity, colliding occasionally, while shards of metal and broken satellites floated between them. Keep your speed moderate, Vela instructed. Your reflexes are faster than you think, but don't rely solely on instinct. Jace nodded. He pushed the throttle forward. The ship responded instantly, twisting and sliding around floating wreckage like water around stones. Vela's voice guided him in precise instructions, not in numbers but in feeling. Left now, accelerate, tilt slightly. For hours they practiced. The first few attempts were clumsy, with Jace swearing under his breath and Vela offering dry commentary. That was predictable, she said after one near collision. You must anticipate, not react. By the third attempt, something changed. Jace no longer saw the asteroids as obstacles. He felt their positions, predicted their movement, and let Vela flow through him. The ship moved like a living creature, turning in tight arcs, diving and rising, a dance in zero gravity. Better, Vela said, her tone almost approving. Your instincts are adapting. Soon we can begin tactical simulations. Jace grinned. I didn't think a scrap ship could teach me anything new. Guess I was wrong. You underestimate yourself, Vela replied. Days passed, though in space. Days were measured more by cycles of the ship's internal lights than by any planet's rotation. During this time, Jace and Vela developed a routine. He learned to read the subtle vibrations in the cockpit, the flickers in the holographic panels. In return, Vela learned his patterns, his hesitations, his sudden impulses. You are human, Vela said one cycle, unpredictable in ways that frustrate me. Yet that same unpredictability is useful. You think differently than any alien pilot would. You improvise, Jace laughed. Improvise, that's one way to put it. Chaos is my middle name. Human chaos, Vela corrected, combined with my systems can be effective, but only if controlled. Jace realized that Vela wasn't just a ship. She was a mentor, a partner, a companion in this lonely expanse. The thought warmed him in a way he hadn't expected. For months, he had felt adrift, a ghost in the galaxy. Now, at least, he was anchored by this strange consciousness that both challenged and guided him. Their bond was tested sooner than Jace had hoped. While exploring an abandoned human colony on a desolate planet, Vela detected unusual energy readings. They are not friendly, Vela said. Sensors indicate hostile activity. Highly advanced drones, alien in design, still operational. They have tracked me for centuries or perhaps longer, and now you, Jace's jaw tightened. So we fight. Only if necessary, Vela said. Stealth is preferred, but you must understand, our first confrontation may be a test. Do not underestimate them. They approached the colony carefully. Buildings were crumbling, streets choked with debris. The drones were camouflaged, integrated into the environment. Jace's pulse quickened. He had fought in wars before, but this felt different. Every movement was calculated, every sound could give them away. Trust me, Vela said. Your mind will adapt faster than your fear. Jace nodded. The ship hummed, responding to his intention as if it anticipated his every thought. He guided them silently through the streets, dodging patrols and scanning for escape routes. A drone appeared suddenly, its sensors locking onto them. Jace froze. Vela's voice cut through the panic. Tilt left, now, fire a decoy. He followed, heart hammering. The decoy activated, sending holographic signatures in multiple directions. The drone swerved, confused, and Jace guided them past the threat. That was intense, Jace muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. Survival is intense, Vela said, and you are improving. By the time they left the colony, Jace had learned more about himself than he had in years. Fear no longer controlled him. He realized that even when facing enemies that were centuries ahead in technology, he had an advantage. His creativity, his ability to improvise, and now, his partnership with Vela. You know, Jace said quietly, I used to think humans were just weak. That we were nothing compared to aliens with advanced tech, but we have something they don't. We can adapt. We can think in ways they don't expect. Indeed, Vela replied, and that is why you and I together are unique, unpredictable, dangerous. Jace smiled, though the thought of danger lingered in his mind. I like being dangerous, he said. Makes life interesting. Life is always interesting, Vela replied, if you know how to survive it. As they traveled further into uncharted space, Vela shared fragments of her past. She spoke of alien civilizations long gone, of fleets destroyed, of minds hunted and extinguished. Jace listened, fascinated yet disturbed. The galaxy had more history than he had imagined, and much of it violent and unkind. You've survived all this time, he said finally. How? Caution, intelligence, and patience, Vela replied. And now I have you, perhaps the first human worthy of partnership. Jace felt a pang of pride mixed with fear. Being chosen by an ancient consciousness was an honor, but it carried responsibility. He was no longer just a drifter. He was a pilot of a ship unlike any other, carrying knowledge and power far beyond ordinary comprehension. Their next encounter tested their growing bond in a more direct way. While navigating a dense asteroid field, sensors picked up an approaching vessel, a sleek black alien ship, armed and moving with intent. They have found us, Vela said calmly. Prepare yourself. Jace's hands went to the controls automatically, muscles remembering long-forgotten reflexes. I'm ready, he said, though doubt lingered. The alien ship fired first. Energy bolts streaked across space, illuminating asteroids in flashes of red and blue. Jace twisted Vela, dodging with impossible agility. Vela guided him, offering suggestions, calculating trajectories faster than any human mind could. Now, Vela commanded, use the pulse drive to displace laterally. You will be out of their line of fire for 2 seconds. Then counterattack. Jace followed, heart pounding. For 2 seconds they moved as one, human and ship in perfect harmony. He fired the ship's weapons, striking the alien vessel's shields. Sparks of blue energy erupted. It's working, Jace said, astonished. We're working together. Yes, Vela said. This is the bond I predicted. Human intuition, alien calculation, together unstoppable. The alien ship disengaged, retreating into the asteroid field. Jace exhaled, adrenaline surging. That was incredible. Vela's lights dimmed slightly, as if content. You have improved more in a single week than many humans do in a lifetime. The galaxy will not wait for us to be ready. But you are ready enough. As they drifted away from the asteroid field, Jace looked at the stars and felt something he hadn't felt in years: hope. He was no longer a lost pilot with nothing to fight for. He had purpose. He had a partner. He had a ship that was alive in ways he was only beginning to understand. I think I'm finally alive again, he said softly. You are, Vela replied. Alive, aware, and capable, and together we may shape the future of more than just ourselves. Jace smiled. The galaxy stretched before them, dangerous, unpredictable, and full of opportunity. For the first time he felt that he belonged, not just among humans but among the stars. And with Vela at his side, he knew they were ready for whatever came next. The galaxy stretched before them like an endless sea of stars, cold, silent, and beautiful. Jace Orlin leaned back in the cockpit chair, hands resting lightly on the controls. Vela the ship pulsed softly with an inner blue glow, her systems fully awake, fully aware. "Do you ever rest?" Jace asked, a small grin on his face. "Or are you always alive?" "I do not require sleep," Vela replied, voice calm, almost amused. "But I appreciate your concern. You, however, need rest. Your body remembers more than your mind realizes." Jace chuckled. "You sound like a mother." "A competent mother," Vela corrected. "And I intend to keep you alive long enough to learn something important. You are human, yes, but you are capable of more than you believe." Jace sighed and leaned back, letting the ship glide through empty space. For the first time in years, he felt calm. After months of drifting, fighting, and learning, he was alive. He and Vela had become more than pilot and ship. They were partners, a team where human instinct and alien intelligence worked together seamlessly. The peace didn't last. Sensors flared suddenly. A massive ship appeared on the edge of their radar. Unlike any vessel Jace had ever seen, it was enormous, black and jagged, with turrets bristling along its sides. Energy pulses radiated from it, testing the space around them like a predator sensing prey. "They have come," Vela said. "The hunters. The ones who have followed me for centuries, and now you carry me. They will not ignore you." Jace's jaw tightened. "So this is it, huh? First real test. Let's see if we can survive it." Vela's systems hummed. "We will not merely survive, we will adapt. And we may triumph if you trust your instincts." Trust. That was all Jace had left to do, and he trusted Vela. The alien warship fired first. Massive beams of energy tore through the void toward them. Jace twisted the controls instinctively. The Urandor class responded instantly, spinning, flipping, accelerating with fluid grace. Sparks of plasma flared from nearby asteroids as stray beams hit the field. "Now counter," Vela commanded. "Use the pulse drive to displace laterally and fire your disruptors at their shields." Jace followed, and the ship moved as if alive, sliding sideways through space with perfect precision. He activated the disruptors, and the alien vessel's shields flickered under the assault. "This is insane," Jace shouted, exhilarated and terrified. "We're actually hurting it." "Yes," Vela replied, "but we are not yet finished. They will adapt." The warship changed tactics immediately, launching swarms of drones that surrounded them. Jace's hands flew over the controls, weaving and dodging. Vela guided him with quiet precision, calculating every angle, every trajectory, faster than Jace could comprehend. Yet it was his unpredictability, his human instinct, that saved them from being trapped. "Think," Vela urged. "Anticipate their adaptation. Humans can do what they cannot predict." Jace grinned. "You've got that right." He fired improvised decoys, luring drones into collisions with one another. He used the terrain of an asteroid field to hide behind massive rocks, creating confusion. Every time the alien ship adjusted, Jace adapted, and Vela guided him, adjusting engines and shields in perfect harmony with his movements. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time and space felt distorted. The alien warship, despite its overwhelming firepower, was pushed back by the sheer unpredictability of a human pilot paired with an alien ship that thought like both a predator and a partner. "You are remarkable," Vela said quietly. "I did not believe a human could achieve this level of synchronization." Jace's hands ached, his body tense, yet adrenaline and focus sharpened him. "I'm not just any human," he said. "I've survived wars, betrayals, and death. I adapt. I survive, and with you we're unstoppable." Vela's glow pulsed softly, almost proudly. Indeed, and that is the truth of humanity. You do not give up. You improvise, you survive. That is why you are extraordinary. Together they turned the fight. The alien warship, massive and advanced, began to retreat, unable to anticipate the ingenuity and creativity of the human mind paired with an ancient ship's systems. After the battle, Jace slumped in the cockpit. Sweat dripped from his brow. His arms ached. His hands shook. Yet he was alive, and he had survived against a foe that should have been impossible. "You did well," Vela said. "Better than I predicted. You used intuition where logic alone would have failed. You were human," Jace laughed weakly. "Human, huh? I think I'm more than just human now. I feel different, alive, like I've finally found my place." "And you have," Vela agreed. "But the galaxy is vast, dangerous, and this is only the beginning. There are secrets we have yet to uncover." Their next destination was a hidden archive, buried in a long-abandoned star system. The archive, according to Vela, contained knowledge of civilizations wiped out by the alien hunters. Ships, technology, and records that could help Jace and humanity understand the galaxy, and perhaps prevent future destruction. The journey there was tense. Sensors picked up occasional rogue drones and scavenger ships, remnants of those who once tried to plunder the archive. But with Vela's guidance, Jace navigated every trap, every ambush, combining human creativity with alien precision. When they finally arrived, the archive's doors loomed, massive and unbroken despite centuries of neglect. Ancient symbols glowed faintly. Vela hummed. "This is what I have sought for centuries, and now you will see it." Jace stepped forward. "What is it?" "A library of knowledge," Vela replied. "Ships, plans, histories, weaponry, and secrets of survival. The galaxy remembers, and now you may remember too." Inside, holographic projections filled the chamber, displaying star maps, fleet formations, and histories of civilizations long gone. Jace's eyes widened. The information was overwhelming, but it was also a promise. Knowledge could be power. Knowledge could protect. And with Vela, he could understand it. This could change everything," Jace whispered. "For humans, for everyone." "Yes," Vela said, "and that is why you must be cautious. Knowledge attracts attention. Those who seek to destroy will come. But with your ingenuity, we may turn the galaxy in our favor." Over the following weeks, Jace studied the archive under Vela's guidance. He learned alien navigation techniques, defensive strategies, and even starship engineering that surpassed human understanding. Vela pushed him to think beyond instinct, to combine logic with creativity. One night, as they rested in orbit around a quiet planet, Jace spoke. "You know, I used to think humans were weak, that aliens with their tech were unstoppable. But I see now we have something they don't." "And what is that?" Vela asked. "Imagination, creativity, chaos, the ability to think outside the patterns. We can improvise, we can survive when logic alone fails." Vela pulsed softly. "Indeed, that is why you are extraordinary. That is why we can triumph." Jace smiled. "So we're a team, human and ship, against the galaxy." "Yes," Vela said, "and together we are more than either of us alone." Their final test came unexpectedly. A fleet of alien warships, larger and more numerous than the previous attacker, appeared on the edge of the system. They had tracked Vela to the archive, drawn by the ship's ancient signature. Jace's stomach tightened. "They're not leaving without a fight." Vela's systems hummed with anticipation. "No, but you have learned, adapted, and survived. And now, ingenuity will decide the outcome." The battle was fierce. Jace moved with precision, weaving the Erendor class through volleys of plasma, debris, and energy nets. He used every trick he had learned: decoys, pulses, unconventional angles. Vela guided him, calculating thousands of variables in seconds. But it was Jace's unpredictable maneuvers, his improvisation, that turned the tide. One by one, the alien warships faltered. Their strategy, designed to anticipate perfection, could not adapt to human unpredictability. Jace laughed as he outmaneuvered an enemy ship twice his size, pulling it into a gravity field that destroyed its engines. "Impressive," Vela said calmly, though her lights pulsed with approval. "You have used humanity itself as a weapon, ingenuity, creativity, courage. That is why we are victorious." By the end, the alien fleet was in retreat. Jace and Vela, battered but unbroken, floated among the wreckage, victorious. As silence returned to space, Jace leaned back, exhaustion and elation battling for dominance. "We did it," he said softly. "We survived, against impossible odds." "Yes," Vela replied. "And you have proven what I have long believed. Humans are extraordinary. Your courage, your ingenuity, your unpredictability, it is unmatched. Even the galaxy itself cannot ignore it." Jace smiled. "I think I finally understand. Humans may not be the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, but we adapt, we fight, we survive, and with a little help we thrive." Vela pulsed in agreement. "And together we will continue to explore, to protect, to leave our mark on the galaxy." The stars stretched infinitely ahead, but Jace felt ready. The galaxy was dangerous, vast, and unpredictable, but he was no longer alone. He had purpose, he had a partner, and he had a ship that was alive in ways no one else could imagine. And together, they would shape the future.